This is it. I am now giving you my testimony that I was not able to give as full length as I wanted. It was fine. I had 3 minutes, but let's do this. The bill that Scott Bottoms introduced today to the Denver legislature was to stop and penalize minors being trafficked into the state for both abortions and transgender care, surgery, medical, etc. Now, I was aghast. I still can't believe that people didn't understand what he was saying. So before I tell you all my opinions, and opinions are like behinds, everybody got one, I'm going to read you my whole testimony, which I mailed to all of them, and I'm going to read you just a couple of things, and then I'm going to say whatever I want. And this is Gammy Sparkles, Gangsta Gammy, giving her pretend testimony after giving a Zoom testimony, and hours of waiting, to get on, rinse and repeat. Here you go. To the Committee on the House Judiciary regarding HB 25-1145, trafficking minors for abortion or transgender care. The operative word, minors. I voted yes. All of our friends did. This is what we are saying. This bill is concerning prohibiting human trafficking of an out-of-state minor into Colorado for the purpose of assisting the minor in obtaining certain reproductive health care services. Said services in most cases sterilize people, maybe permanently. Subject: crimes, corrections, enforcement, health care, and health insurance. No child can give consent that is informed. No child. Leave those kids alone. Now, many crucial changes have occurred regarding current protocols, which will begin to reshape the policy and cultural landscape surrounding transgender ideology in the coming years. On January 28, President Trump signed 2 significant executive orders declaring his intent to return our country to true and ethical standards regarding sex. Under the first order, defending women from gender ideology, extremism, and restoring biological truth to the federal government, he affirms 2 and only 2 distinct biological sexes, male and female. Under the second order, that will protect children with gender dysphoria while protecting them from chemical and surgical mutilation, hospitals across the country will be required to suspend any gender interventions on individuals under the age of 19. This order states that it will neither fund, sponsor, promote, assist, nor support medical interventions such as puberty blockers or surgeries meant to so-called transition a child to the opposite sex. This was posted by the Doctors Protecting Children Coalition and the American College of Pediatricians. I got to get my ruler. Pound, pound, pound. Now, let's talk 1 minute. I want to talk about the American College of Pediatricians who have come out against procedures on minors. Hundreds and hundreds, they're worldwide doctors, are saying this is a mistake. Not only is transgender medication bad for not growing spines properly and doing damage and all kinds of other things that are happening. I think I'm skewing my view, but I'm trying to read and talk. But it also is a fact that about 85% of us humans get through puberty and we're fine. Unless somebody speaks in your ear and says, oh, you might be in the wrong body. God didn't know what he was doing. You don't know who you are. Well, I climbed trees. I was a tomboy. I'm sure glad nobody chopped off any of my healthy body parts and tried to tell me I don't belong in here. Let me keep going. Part of this bill is about trafficking, which these people had the cognitive dissonance to not even believe was real. They really, literally did not believe that we were having the problems we tried to tell them, or that Representative Bottoms told them. Trafficking of children is prevalent all around us. How do you, or will you, as a legislator, even know that child and minor coming to Colorado for an abortion or gender mutilation therapy is here on free will? Each year, over 400,000 children are reported missing in the USA, which is over 1,100 per day. Nearly 50 million human beings globally are victims of modern-day slavery, whether sex trafficking, labor, forced marriage, etc. Estimate is at least 1/3 of them are children and as young as newborn. 2020 International Labor Organization quote. Approximately 300,000 sex trafficked children are in the U.S. It's more than that. Global profits are approximately $150 billion, and 99 billion is from sex trafficking. 32 billion of that is in the U.S. Sadly, it would appear we are the world's largest sex buyer. Let that sink into your mind. This means in every community of America alone, there are evil forces working to find and steal children and adults for the trafficking industry. The suspected criminals come from all walks of life, from cartels, from government organizations hiding in the wings, from other criminal forces, churches, Satan worshiping groups, right here in Colorado Springs, who knew? And mobsters wanting to make a buck. They do not value life, only the dollars. One child, any age, can be abused 20 times or more a day, and when they've worn them out, they can just simply sell their organs. The business is as lucrative as the drug trade, if not more. It also includes the rituals I mentioned. We have a big corridor right through Colorado, right here in Colorado. Now, the coalition within the American College of Pediatricians, ACP, released a press release, Doctors Protecting Children's Declaration. The document encourages American medical associations like American Academy of Pediatrics and the Pediatric Endocrine Society and other organizations that currently promote actually harmful gender manipulation procedures for minors, puberty blockers, surgeries, and all, to just say no. Now, what does that mean? It means we need to keep reading. I did this pretty long, but I sent it to all the legislators in the state. One document leaked from files of the World Professional Association of Transgender Health that showed doubts, disagreements, and concerns by doctors performing gender surgeries. The docs showed the documents struggling to define standards of care and debated topics that whether minors can truly give approval for gender procedures, which will have lifelong impacts. What has been currently happening is frankly not what we need to be doing ethically, most of them are thinking and saying. And it goes on, I'm not going to tell you all of this part of my letter, but it exposed the very doctors who are doing these procedures. Some of them don't even know, have doubts, it's experimental. They wouldn't listen to Dr. Hillary Cass's report, and instead they're listening to unscientific and experimental data, which is insane. Now they're starting to look at the data. You would think major standards of care would be based on very good studies, but that's not what's happening. You have a crisis in dysphoria that is ideologically brought up. It is not scientifically brought. U.S. doctors who continue to promote gender manipulation procedures are basing their positions on, like the Netherlands study, with weak evidence, and the Amsterdam cohort of gender dysphoria considered data collected from an Amsterdam clinic, 1997 to 2018. The study was published in 2023. And guess what? The American College of Pediatricians is supporting parents and it's supporting children, not all this insanity. We say no child is born in the wrong body. We know the children, if they're having discomfort with their biological sex but are allowed to grow through puberty, they'll probably 85% of them be just fine. Some studies have said it's even more than that, way more. As a grandparent, a parent, and a great-grandparent, I'm not just outraged, shocked, but madder than 1,000 disturbed hornets' nests. This body, the Denver Legislature, has in the last several sessions passed bills which take away parental rights when children are 12 and can be removed from their homes, put into strangers' homes, controlled by the state, aka foster care, which is more gender affirming, which I call mutilating, and no regard is given to the family which has nurtured and raised that child. What in the freaking hell, Hades, hell, is wrong with people? Have you lost your ever-loving minds? You are subscribing to the Communist Manifesto, to crimes against humanity, and to an attack on Western civilization for starters. You are enabling ideology to trump science, and worse, you are paying for these sterilizations, mutilations with our money. We're demising ourselves. You are paying for our demise as a humanity. This is not affirming care, as so many pseudo organizations claim. They offer children drugs within a few sessions with counselors, but the catch is, this destroys the body, the mind permanently. Bodies are not even fully grown till they're past 21 years of age. You're endorsing destruction of another human being. You're literally ripping off healthy body parts by allowing malpractice in epic proportions and not ever seen before. Tens of thousands of children have already been mutilated. The global toils are worse. I personally declare every organization which performs mental, physical mutilations of minors, hospitals, counselors, legislatures, governors, elected representatives or selected with all the cheating machines, websites, including school libraries, allowing porn, hypersexualization of our minor children. I declare them to be not just terrorists, but and should be tried in the courts as criminals against humanity, and I declare that they should be in jail for the rest of their lives. I mean this from the whole bottom of my soul and heart. God did not intend you to destroy innocent young children, no matter which country, no matter which culture, no matter which political party. So stop this right now. We will never stop fighting for this cause. Below is a casualty of uninformed consent. It's a picture of a young woman who is mentally disabled, and her mother had her trans. She's in a wheelchair, was all over Twitter. Chloe Cole, who also detransitioned after being hoodwinked under the age of 15, okay? And she had a detransition minus, of course, her breasts. Then I had a picture of the shaman painted in the basement of our Denver rotunda. It's just like the guy that went in the Capitol with the horns, only this guy got his winky and everything hanging down. This is in the Denver Capitol. Culture of Scheisse. Now, let's go another step. I got to tell you one more thing, a couple of more things. I've been reading and working on Lost in Transnation by Dr. Miriam Grossman, okay? And before I tell you about her book now, I've read you most of my written testimony. I sent this picture. I've sent it. You've seen it. If you know me, you have seen it. I can never get these straight. There we go. This is young people having their body parts cut, ripped off, and put in other places. And like Robbie Starbuck's movie, The War on Children, and all the others, okay? You cannot become a man or woman by ripping off body parts. Your DNA is still your DNA that God gave you, okay? And nothing will ever be the same. So the people that didn't want to vote for the bill, and every bill in Denver just about is party line, so 8-4, 7-3, 4, and they vote against any sanity. They didn't understand why this bill had to be put in because they think we're going against trans. Let's be clear. We are not demonizing LGBTQ or trans youths. We are demonizing the horses' asses and pseudo malpracticing horrible people who are lying and brainwashing ideologically, mentally, just like MK Ultra and everything else, lying to destroy and sterilize Western civilization. And that's what the UN agenda wants, 2/3 of us gone by 2030. It's written, they've said it. Now, Dr. Grossman's book, Lost in Transnation, every parent should get that book, and you got your blueprint, because the schools are selling curriculum, they're selling agenda, social emotional learning, CRT, DEI, but forget the initials. Diversity, equity, inclusion. We should have inclusion for everyone, disabled or not, whatever, culture, race. No one should be saying you're bad because you're white, you're bad because you're black. So it's all shizakaka. We already knew that. But the emotional terror that they're putting on everyone, we're right back to, why does a kindergartner need to know what Harvey Milk is doing under the damn sheets in the history class? For God's sakes. Brainwashed from K to 12. And our schools are participants. We've griped about the books, like this book is gay, telling little boys how to go down on each other, eat each other's poops. I've complained about all this in previous videos. These are books that the conservatives are voting for because they think they need to give proper sex education. Well, let me tell you something. There ain't no sex education to chopping off parts and then trying to sew on fake ones and tell somebody, now go make it work. Yeah, right. Here you go. Dr. Miriam Grossman has done the public a tremendous service with this harrowing recounting of the ethical corruption of the medical profession and the devastation wrought by radical gender ideology on the lines of countless young lives of countless young and vulnerable Americans. That was Josh Ham on her book, and he's Newsweek. Now, here's another one. In 25 years as a healthcare policy expert at the state, national, and international levels, rarely met a more determined, strong, and courageous person than Dr. Miriam Grossman. And she put, this is needed ammunition for parents, okay? Because what they've done is, in the name of affirmation and healthcare, a horrific tragedy is being perpetrated on humanity, and on the most vulnerable, impressionable, and malleable, our children. Crucial resources and scientifically sound treatises and a necessary call to action for all of us who care for the future of our children is needed. And that was Diana Lightfoot, North Carolina. These are people making comments on the book. I'm going to read you one more. If you care about the next generation, school-age children, and this is from Jan Jekielek, I might say it wrong, senior editor of the Epoch Times and the host of American Thought Leaders. For anyone who cares about our school-age generation, a war is being waged over our children's identities, with everything parents and community members on one side and proponents of a radical new gender-affirming ideology spreading like a contagion and tearing apart families, threatening the very fabric of our society. While many in the gender-affirming movement are well-meaning teachers, guidance counselors, doctors, and even parents, buying into the need for the incredibly invasive medical interventions grounded in corrupted science and driven by powerful organizations and government policy, Parents are terrified if they don't support their kids' transition to an ambiguous or opposite sex, their children's lives will be at risk. This book charts a path for you to battle the lies. They tell you, well, if you don't trans, they're going to kill themselves. It's a lie. More children have killed themselves after transitioning, and tons are coming out to detrans. They don't even want us to know because they feel so marked. You know, how do you go back? Chloe Cole, Aaron Lee are some of the big heroes speaking up for things being done to children. There is so much information out there, but let me tell you something. I know we're supposed to work by the law, and I am, but if I could have a dream for all the Marxist and sterilizing sick people doing this to our children, this is what I hope you get someday. If not personally, at least in a court of law and in jail. This is a lie. This is nothing but total attack of humanity. It's a crime against humanity. And I freaked out these people when I said these people doing this to children should go to jail and they're terrorists. They are terrorists. They are genocidal murderers. They are manipulating body parts, ripping them off. There is no excuse to not at least let them grow up. And so the idiots, I'm sorry guys, I'm calling you idiots down there in Denver, who have put in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bills to rape our children's minds, to rape our family relationships and rip the rights of the parents away. You be full of shisa. You have done a disservice. You talk about Constitution. You have violated humanity. You should be in international courts for crimes against humanity because children should not be touched mentally or physically. And anybody that does that is a freaking criminal, intentional or accidental. It is still a crime against a human body. I can't say it enough. And folks, if you think I'm just a crazy old lady, this is personal to me. That means most of us have someone in families that are impacted. And I'm not going to stand by and let it happen without speaking up and showing information and sharing data, reports, science, movies, books, you name it. We will never stop until these criminals and sickos that have jumped into our nation have gotten removed. Now, I got tons more to say, but I'm going to quit here for now. I'll be back. Gangsta Gammy in the trenches. And while we're at it, Colorado, you have now gone from the beautiful mountain state of Colorado where you can ski to the butcher genocide state. You have now got a new reputation. Bring your kids, bring everybody here. We'll chop them up and send them wherever you want. And we're hiding the trafficking because they can bring young girls here, get them, aborted, and then send them back to the traffickers. Nobody vets, nobody checks. Is that your mom and dad? They're so scared, poopless, they'll say anything. We have a huge problem. It's a morality problem. It is a legal, criminal problem. And by dang it, it's a crime against humanity. And if anybody in Colorado Legislature and the government is left with a conscience and decency, wake the heck up, because we will never stop fighting for decency and humanity and the children. All children, everywhere. We don't hate the gays either. We want them safe. We want everyone safe. That's it. Gangsta Gammy out.